Hey guys, what's up? Zar here. I shared with you guys that I am a cancer survivor. When I was 9 years old, I was diagnosed with A.L.L. leukemia. And so, I wanted to share this video with you guys, telling my story, because as of earlier this week, I'm actually 7 years cancer-free, which is just unbelievable. So, I just wanted to share with you guys this video, my cancer story. Pretty much it's going to be the night I was admitted, my last day of treatment, and just some other news that I got pretty later on. So first, you need to know a little bit of background on me. A quick description of my younger self would be energetic. I loved to run around, and in fact, I was like the third or fourth best runner in my class, thank you very much. So when we had to run the mile and the state required fitness gram testing, I wasn't too worried about it. I thought I'd do fine. And then I had a hard time running. And I don't mean just like a hard time, I mean I couldn't run. Like, I really tried, and I was going a walking pace. And my legs hurt. They felt like the muscles were being like pulled apart, honestly. At the time, we had a student who was training to be a teacher, like being our PE teacher for a while. We had our actual PE teacher there. She was pretty cool. But this guy was kind of a jerk. I don't want to use his real name though, so I'll call him Mr. Chess. Now this guy, like I said, he was kind of a jerk, and so like I'm running the mile, like walking the mile, and when I make my first lap, I come up to him and I'm like, he's like, come on, you need to step it up. And I'm like, I can't. I'm normally a good runner, but I can't. And I tell him about, the muscles pulling apart thing. And he's like, oh, that's just a growth spurt. You'll be fine. Go ahead. Just run. Like I said, I was 9 years old when this happened, in 4th grade. And because I had been having those pains in my leg for a while, and I didn't really say too much because I didn't like to complain. And for when it finally got to that point when I had to tell someone, and for him to just dismiss it like that, ooh, that was so bad. And my actual PE teacher later on told me that that was the day she knew something was wrong, is because she knew how much I loved to run, and then I wasn't able to. So yeah, Mr. Chess, just run. I had cancer, dude. Anyway, so yeah, that was a pretty big indicator that something was wrong. And not too long later, I ended up missing school for about 3 weeks because I had a pretty bad fever. We were able to keep it down with medication, but it just kept coming back. So my mom took me to a clinic. I got to get my temperature taken like the astronauts do. At least that's what I was told. It was this weird little strip of paper that I just kind of placed on my tongue. It was really weird, but really cool too. The doctor might have been lying about the astronaut thing just so I'd be more open to it, because my mom told him that I like space stuff. But I don't know, I can't prove that. So we gotta roll with that's how astronauts take their temperature. And yeah, he took some blood, and that was about it for a while. Until my fever got even worse. It broke, I think it was more than 103.5, which I had never gotten a temperature higher than 102. So when that happened, and because it had lasted so long, my mom just was like, nope, this is it. She took me into the ER, and honestly at that point I couldn't, I was barely conscious at all. I couldn't feel my anything. I couldn't walk, could barely talk. My older brother actually had to carry me into the hospital. It was pretty scary, and most of it's a blur, but I do remember being admitted in and kind of just sitting there, and I remember when I heard the word cancer being thrown around, I got scared. To a 9-year-old kid, or at least to me, that was a death sentence. Cancer was some horrible disease that killed anyone who had it. The doctors even told me that I wouldn't make it through the night. They arranged to have me airlifted to a hospital in Rockford, but my grandpa said no. He didn't like that idea. You see, for religious reasons, my family doesn't accept blood transfusions, and it's something I've wholeheartedly embraced. I didn't want blood transfusion either. But they said no one would move, that no one would transport me without it. So the hospital that I was originally admitted to, and I hate this hospital so much, they actually had to, went to the courts, claimed that my parents were unfit to decide my medical treatment, and so the hospital was granted temporary custody of me. They called Child Protective Services to keep my family away from me. And despite my protests, albeit very little because I was unable to move, it took all my strength to tell them no. They went along with it. But thankfully, I didn't have to go where the hospital wanted me to take me. The helicopter was able to reach our little local hospital, but the winds were getting too bad for anyone to be airlifted. So then, I don't know what happened, but my grandpa got his way, and he had been arguing with the doctors to take me to the University of Chicago, representing. I love them. They're great people there. My grandpa argued to have them take me there to the hospital, to the Comers Children's Hospital there, because we knew that there were people there who were willing to work with our beliefs on the blood issue. And eventually, we got it. I was put into an ambulance, and they took me in. I remember just, again, still barely being able to move, just kind of drifting in and out of consciousness. But the lights of the Chicago night, they were so beautiful. And I was in the back of an ambulance, but just looking out the windows, seeing the city sparkle, it helped just a little bit. And I remember one of the paramedics in the back were like joking around with me. He's like, you having a good nap? And I'm like, yeah. And that guy was so cool. I wish I knew who he was. Eventually we reached Chicago, and I was taken into the hospital there. So yeah, I get taken up to a hospital room. I'm admitted for, inpatient care, of course. So I was admitted there, and it was past midnight. That's really all I know. There was a student there. He was, we'll call him Dr. Seuss for this. And he was just awesome. I remember, how late I came in. He was there because med students never sleep. He assured me that I was going to be fine. He was the first one to do that, to let me know that the cancer I had was leukemia, and he explained to me what it was, that it affected my white blood cells, meant that my body wasn't able to fight off infections like normally, and that it was damaging my red blood cells, which was causing all sorts of problems. But he explained to me that there was a viable treatment, and that they would also do their best to work within the bounds of our beliefs. So a huge burden was lifted off me, and I was actually able to get a pretty good night's sleep that night. So thank you, Dr. Seuss. I don't know if you'll ever see this, but just know that those words meant so much more than you'll ever know to me. So thank you for being the first one to explain that to me. You know, I spent a few weeks in the hospital, things like blood tests, spinal taps. Eventually, I was able to go back to school because for a long time my white blood cell count was still way too low to let me go out in public. Really, I had to stay at home and kind of be isolated as possible. But eventually, I was able to go back to school, and I think I had a few more stays in the hospital. But from the chemotherapy treatment that I had, my hair started to fall out. So that was somewhat embarrassing. I got to talk it over the school, and while normally no hats or head coverings were allowed in school, but they made an exception for me, letting me wear a bandana over my head. Fedoras were cool at the time, and my grandpa just gave me one, and that was awesome, so I got to wear it. I found out a few years later, actually, that my best friend at the time actually tried to visit me in the hospital, and he was the only one that I know of that tried to. So thanks, man. That means a lot too. And sorry I didn't find out until almost 3 years later, I think. Not only did he try to visit me in the hospital, but you see, a lot of the people there at the school really helped out. They gave us, me and my family, gift cards for the local gas station. That way it took huge price off of our hands because we didn't have to pay nearly as much for gas, because I had to go back to Chicago every Friday for a spinal tap we had to leave here at 6:45 in the morning, and that was hard. Thank you guys. If I never gave you a proper thanks, this is it now. Thank you guys for all the support you gave me in the community. It really meant a lot, and it helped out my family tremendously. And my best friend at the time, again, not only did he try to visit me in the hospital, but him and his mom, oh man, they gave just so many of the cards. We got a stack this big just from them, and I think they were all $20 each. It was crazy. Of course, a bunch more from the rest of my classmates and just the school itself. So that was really cool to have that support from the people in our community. So again, thank you guys. Alright, so that was pretty much what happened at first. Let's just go ahead and jump ahead to my last day of treatment. On October 28th, 2010, I was diagnosed with A.L.L. leukemia. I reached remission in January of 2011. My last day of treatment was January 22nd in 2014. And I remember going in for my last day of chemo, I got this really awesome cake that the Child Life Specialist there actually got for me. It was awesome. Hopefully I can find a picture of the cake to put in this video, because it was such an awesome cake, but I think I deleted that picture when I deleted my old Instagram. But I digress. So, because it was my last day of chemo, a few of the nurses, they were so cool. I actually got kind of close with them. Well, my mom did. I was just kind of there. And of course, the Child Life Specialist again, she was super cool. Gave me a ton of Legos and stuff like that. So, I love you all, guys. Thanks for what you guys did for me there. And I remember, again, my best friend at the time from back, the same one that tried to visit me, I FaceTimed him because we had iPads from our school. So I FaceTimed him while I was there at the hospital because I wanted to say thanks to the class as well, because I didn't do it alone. I did it with them. But yeah, so I FaceTimed my best friend at the time, And apparently the teacher actually got really mad at him because the teacher didn't, because I had planned to do it during the previous class, but we got there late, so when I ended up FaceTiming him, he was already in the next class, and that teacher didn't particularly like my best friend, so she got really mad at him, and he's just like, wait, it's Elazar, and then, because she loves me, she's like, oh, okay, answer it, and yeah, so when I was expecting to just be him, and then having him call over the rest of the class, he answers, and then all of a sudden the entire class is just crowded around his iPad, and I'm like, drop my iPad out there on the hospital bed, and then, oh, hi guys, and like everyone's, oh, I'm like, so it's my last day of chemo, yay, and then I got really awkward because I asked them if anyone had any questions about it, and no one said anything. I was not prepared to give a speech on like what it was, or like, oh, thank you so much. I was, 12? Yeah, I was 12 at the time, guys. I'm not going to give some elaborate speech. I just wanted to say hey to all my friends. Thanks. And so that's pretty much what I did. And just, oh, yeah. And then there was a really long, awkward pause before the teacher finally was like, oh, well, okay. We're so proud of you, stuff like that. And then, oh, we're going to get back to class. And then, I'm like, okay, bye, guys. And then, introduce them to my nurses and stuff too, I think, and that was about it. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I make light of it a lot, but this was something terrible that happened to me. I almost died, and it happened a few times when I was on the verge of death, and I'm able to approach it pretty lightheartedly. I can only do that because I've come so far. And I didn't do that on my own strengths. I didn't beat cancer alone. I did it with the help of my friends and family, and I truly believe that I did it with the help, especially of Jehovah God. Now, if we were to use the word miracle as in a suspension of the natural laws of the world, I don't think any miracles happened for me. I just don't. But I wholeheartedly believe that I was given the strength that I needed to keep going, to keep enduring. That hope that gave me that drive to keep going. The encouragement from the brothers and sisters in my congregation. I couldn't have done it without them. So, to everyone who supported me, friends, family, everyone, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I'm only here because of you. Not too long ago, I was approached about letting my medical records be used in research to hopefully make the treatments even less intrusive, less medication, or at the very least, shorter recovery times. And I said yes. So my files are now part of a registry that's being used in that research. So I am now a data point, hopefully helping someone else. I didn't make this video and tell my story, just to share a sob story or to get pity. I did it because it affected my life in such a huge way. I honestly think that it's part of the reason that I'm so interested in science. While I already had that interest before, when going through this, it just made me want to learn more. I don't know. It's weird how things can affect you. By enduring that helped my faith grow. And it helped me grow as a person. I had to mature very early on, which kind of sucked, but also benefited me, because now I can act like a kid without even caring, honestly. Because I lost a good portion of my childhood. I deserve to make that back. Alright. A lot of times people are scared to ask questions for one reason or another. I guess they think I'll be offended, or they don't want to bring up bad memories. But I always have to live with those bad memories. But there's not too many of them. Having that support, that really helped. And it's a huge reason why I'm able to joke about it now. Even if some people might not like me joking about it too much. AKA my mom. She doesn't like it when I make jokes about it. But it's because it seems so far off. People don't even know that I had it. One of my closest friends, I forgot to tell them. And so I just kind of casually mentioned it in passing, and they go, "Wait, what?" I'm like, I had cancer for like... Didn't I tell you? No. Oh. Yeah, I had cancer back in 4th grade. So yeah, I felt pretty bad. We didn't start... I didn't know this person, like, until 2 years ago. So, sorry. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer in this, or if you want to see some more of my stories, because I have plenty more stories, a lot of which is probably in this footage still, because I have like an hour of footage now, and I wanted to condense it down to at very most a half hour. I'm going to try to get it less than that. But yeah, guys, if you have anything else you want to know, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I will not be afraid to answer them, so don't be afraid to ask. I encourage them, really. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really glad I'm finally being able to share it with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this in one way or another. Maybe if you did, leave a like, or if you didn't, go ahead and leave a dislike if you think, you know what, I'm going to make a joke here. Go ahead and hit that dislike button too. That's still fine, alright? Again, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my story. If you have to take anything away from this, it's that everyone's going through something or has gone through something. Maybe you can't always see it. Just remember that and be kind to each other, guys. Show that support, because it's clear that it's possible. Alright, well, with that out of the way, guys, thanks for watching. Again, I think I've said it like 100 times at least. Go check out Tech Tuesdays. I have to go record Z Factor now. Zar